come Saturday as she looks to score a big win over Karen Cedillo in Las Vegas. Line Fight 75. Let's talk to JRC right now, who was kind enough to join us, and she made it. There was some doubt as to whether or not you'd be able to squeeze us in. You made it. You're here.
Yeah, I got it, and I'm not riding dirty anymore.
You're all good.
I'm good at the DMV. Good at the DMV.
Live from the DMV right now. This is
no, I'm at a metalwork place. I'm done at the DMV. My mom's learning to weld right now, so I'm sitting outside a metalwork shop in Vegas, and my mom is inside learning welding.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
What a by the way, does your mom live with you now in Las Vegas?
No, she's just out here for this fight.
And she just happened to
squeeze got here
in
last week.
Some metal welding.
Yeah. Well, so she's building out a bus, same as me. I'm building out a school bus. She's building out a school bus back in Australia. So I was like, she hasn't been here in 4 years, and I was like, hey, when you come out, like, if you want me to introduce you to some people that can help you with working on your bus, let me know. And she said, I really want to learn how to weld. So I brought her to Sosa Metalworks in Vegas. He's a bike builder, and all he does is metal work. And so he's currently teaching her how to weld.
Wow. And what are you doing with a bus?
I have a 40-foot yellow school bus that I'm trying to build into like a motorcycle hauling RV. Yeah.
Really? Why?
Why not?
I mean, yeah.
Why not?
I know why.
Why not?
Where did you come up with that idea, and how did you buy the bus?
Well, I've actually been looking for about 4 years for the right bus, and then last year I found the right bus, but I just haven't had the time to start building it out yet. But because I lived at an RV park for a long time in Northern California up until pretty recently, and I just lived in a trailer, and I have motorbikes and everything, and I was like, how can I make myself my own home that will also house my motorbike? So I bought the school bus with the intention of building it out into a full-time house on wheels with a garage.
I have so many follow-ups there to just that answer. Where do you park the bus, by the way?
So right now it's at my friend's workshop in Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is it yellow? Is it like a legit school bus?
Yeah. It's the giant yellow Freightliner school bus.
Wow. And how long did you live in an RV park? Oh, what's happening?
Hold on. My mom's trying to get stuff out of the car. Here, get your stuff out of the car.
She wants some airtime. We're talking about her. I mean,
I've already. Yeah, get your stuff.
Hello, Mom.
It's not in here.
How are you? How's the welding going? Is it going well?
Yeah, going really well. Finally, yes. Thank you.
Well done.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye. Wow, your mom is hardcore. She has a tongue ring.
Yeah. Wow. She took me for my very first tattoo. She's the one that started everything.
Oh my gosh. How old were you when that happened?
Yeah. It was my 18th birthday. She took me. That's a legal age in Australia. So she took me straight to get my first tattoo. She chose it. She was supposed to also get it. She didn't end up getting it. I'm the chump left with like a shitty lizard on my hip, but it's cool. I like it.
Did she end up getting any tattoos throughout her life?
She has a bunch. Yeah, she has a bunch. Her and I have a couple of matching tattoos that we've gotten out here in Vegas on previous trips.
Wow. So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say.
No.
Okay.
Maybe just in that respect.
Okay. All right.
I think we're very different. Yeah.
No face tattoos for her?
No.
Okay.
She's mentioned it, but I don't know if she's ready to go down that road yet.
Maybe when she gets to be your age.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe when she grows up a little.
How long were you in the RV camp for?
3 years.
What was that like?
Super cool. My best friends lived in the bus next to me. I only just moved out because they raised the prices at the RV park. And so I ended up moving into one of my friends' houses for less than what I was paying to live in a trailer, and he's a firefighter. So he's gone most of the week at work.
Okay.
So I pretty much have a whole house and a yard for myself and for the dogs now, but I really miss it. I still have my RV, and I'm always considering going back, but I just don't want to spend the extra money to live at a park. But I miss my friends. Like we had my trailer set up and then their bus, and we had like a little outdoor area with like a garden, and I had my barbecue, my Traeger grill out there, and like a little fire pit, and we would just sit out there every night and hang out. It was super cool.
Are you
I miss it a lot.
Are you longing for the day when you have just like you are anchored, you have a home, because you've had a bit of a nomadic lifestyle, right? Do you think you'll always be that way, or do you want to be settled?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever be settled, you know. I would like to I I have all these grand dreams of like buying a cottage in Italy and going and spending some time in Italy. I've also been taught my sister just moved to Bali, so I've been looking at land out in Bali as well. But I really just want, I think I will settle when I can find a big piece of land, and I just want to kind of disappear onto my own land and be super self-sufficient and just ride motorbikes and horses and hang out with my dogs all day. That's kind of, I think that'll be when I settle. When I find the right piece of land, that'll be when I set some roots down.
And you really do love bikes. I saw that. Did you get like lost or something for 3 hours? What happened here with the bike situation?
Yeah. Well, so I was riding on this new like mountain kind of highway thing up in Northern California, and my phone died, and I was using that for my GPS, and my phone died. I was like 17 miles in, and it was either 17 miles back or like another 14 or 17 forward, and then there were a bunch of turnoffs, and I actually didn't know which direction my home was. So I just kind of went, well, let's just go. Like, let's see if I can figure out how to get home. I didn't. I ended up, by the time I eventually stopped and charged my phone, I was still an hour away from where I live. But it was really fun, you know, like I was just, I really, like I rode my Harley out here the other day out to Vegas, you know, and it took 11 hours with stops, and mum was in the truck with the dogs. So we'd stop and let the dogs out and have a look at things on the drive out. And there's something so beautiful about just being on your bike, because I can't text anyone, I can't take phone calls, like I can't have conversations. It's like just me in the open air, having to be super aware and present. And I feel like I don't really get many opportunities to do that. So I wasn't, it was kind of fun getting lost on my bike, honestly. And it made me want to go and do that more, put myself in that situation more, where like just go somewhere and see if I can figure out how to get home.
You didn't panic?
No.
At all?
What would I panic for?
How are you
I feel like I'm pretty capable.
I know, but like
I feel like I'm pretty capable. I mean, I'm always going to figure it out.
Sheesh. If my thing went out for like 2 minutes, I'd be like hyperventilating. What are you talking about? You're just...
Yeah, but I grew up in the forest. Like, that's the thing. I grew up in the bush with no TV, no electricity. Like, that's how I've lived half of my life.
What do you mean no electricity? Like nothing?
Yeah, nothing.
What do you mean?
Candlelight, fires, stuff like that. We literally lived in the forest. I grew up in the forest.
In the forest? In Australia?
Yeah.
Did you have running water?
Traveled, so with my mom, we lived in a van for a long time and traveled around to like different properties, different massive pieces of land, where they would have these things called rainbow gatherings. So it would just be like an open piece of land, and people would travel from all over, you know, Australia, all over Asia. People would come from the US to gather for these rainbow gatherings, and it would be like a big celebration, and there would be bonfires and communal cooking every night, and like people would play guitars and they'd bring instruments, but there was no electricity. It was just, they were always along a creek or a river, but it was just like living, I don't know, living simply for a few weeks. And then so we would travel around to those, and in between those we would live on different pieces of properties. Like my mom has worked in disability care for a long time, so we lived on one farm in particular called Mary Farms that was owned by a gentleman in a wheelchair, and mum was his carer. So we lived there for free, and anyone could go and live there. You just had to contribute to looking after the land. So it was kind of how I spent like my early years of life were doing that. And I think that's why I am such a gypsy. Like being in Northern California for 4 years now is the longest in my entire life, is the longest I've lived in any one area.
How many, when you say we, how many people are we talking about that would go from these? You, your mom? Is it just you, your mom, or did you have?
No. So my mom has 6 kids. So there was my mom, and however, I think at that stage there was 4 kids and 2 dogs, and we all lived in a van and all slept across respective seats. And but there were, at some of these rainbow gatherings, there would be hundreds of people. People would literally like congregate for these few like weeks on this one particular land, and it was just this big communal like love, friendship, peace gathering.
Wow. Did you go to school?
I went to school when I was 11, I think. I was homeschooled up until then.
You started when you were 11, and then you continued afterwards?
Yeah,
or just
I went
that year?
No, I continued afterwards.
Okay.
I was smart as fuck, so I like got a scholarship to a really good private school, and
oh wow,
yeah, so yeah, but I didn't go to school until year 5. So halfway through later elementary. I don't
Yeah.
know. What elementary, right? That's the younger ages?
Yes. Elementary.
Yeah.
What a lifestyle. Wow. And did you think this was unique, or you just thought everyone lived this way? Like, did you know that this was a little bit different?
When I finally went to school, because I went to school because I ended up moving in with my grandma, and my grandma was very settled. Like, she didn't live that lifestyle. She was very alternative, but like, she had a job, she had a property, everything like that. And so when I went to live with her, she sent me to school, and that was the first time I'd ever been around kids my own age. The first time I'd ever like had someone tell me what to do. I don't do well with people being in charge, So like, I did struggle with a lot of aspects. But that was when I finally realized, like, oh, my lifestyle is different, and I was picked on, bullied a ton because of my upbringing. And because I think because I grew up around adults, so I didn't know how to relate to kids my own age. So I was very different to everyone that I went to school with. But now as an adult, I'm like, when I tell people my story, which I don't talk about it that often, I tell little bits and pieces, but when I tell people my story, I always get the same reaction, like, whoa, man, that's like so weird. I'm like, is it? I think you guys going to school every day and doing the same shit day in and day out is really weird, Like, I couldn't imagine doing anything but what I do now, which I think is why I was attracted to fighting, because I could travel, it's chaotic, it's inconsistent, like there's nothing really stable about this career. And I think that's why it's like the only thing I've ever stuck to.
And speaking of that, like, I feel a little bit weird asking you this question because we've talked a bunch of times, but we never really gone down this path. How did you get into fighting, given this life that you had?
I was dating a kickboxer. So I was going to compete in powerlifting. And at the time, I was dating a kickboxer, and I had to lose a little weight for this powerlifting meet I was trying to do. And so he was like, oh, come to kickboxing. And I went there and didn't touch another weight for like 4 years.
Oh, wow.
I fell in love from day one. I was like, oh man, it felt like I think I was 21 when that happened. And it felt like that was the first time, because I have lived a very transient lifestyle. That first session of kickboxing was the first time where I felt like I was at home, and I've only ever felt that one other time, and that was the very first time I came to Las Vegas. So twice in my life have I ever felt like I was at home, and one was fighting and one was being in Vegas.
And but you don't live in Las Vegas, right? Do you want to end up in Las Vegas?
No, I mean, yeah, I will end up moving back here. At some stage. It's been a consistent thing since I went to Northern California, but I'm there for my coach, I'm there for my gym. So while I'm still fighting and actively competing, that's where I'll be. But as soon as once I decide that I don't want to compete anymore, then I'll be back in Vegas, because there's a lot for me here as well. There's a lot of opportunities for me here outside of fighting that I'm kind of holding off on until I'm ready to quit competing. But
like what?
I do. I'm out here all the time. Well, I really want to learn to tattoo. Obviously I'm covered in tattoo. The girl who does all of mine is one of my best friends. She's been wanting to teach me, so I'd love to learn to tattoo. I want to start building motorbikes. I want to do more with Harley Davidson. Like, I want to be involved more in the motorcycle industry. And in Vegas, there's a massive community here, and I'm already friends with a lot of them, so there's a lot of opportunity for me to get more on camera work, more stuff with motorbikes, and then also develop a side career in tattooing, which is a career that I really can take all over the world,
Wow. Okay. So much going on. And so we should probably talk about the fighting. Why are you not in the UFC anymore?
Well, my contract ended after that last fight. That was the last fight on my deal. But I honestly, when I fought Sarah Alpar, which was what, ended 2020, that was going to be my retirement fight in MMA. I was just not happy doing it anymore. I was getting so injured constantly. Like, it just wasn't, I think this vision that I had of what it was and then the reality once I got to that level were two very different things. And I was really struggling to kind of let go of that vision I had in my head, and really settle into the reality. Like, I just wasn't enjoying it. And I'd said to myself with the Sarah Alpar fight before I walked out, I was like, if you don't enjoy tonight, like, that's it. We're gonna call it, And then I had a great fight and I ended up getting injured. Like I tore my ACL in that fight and had to have surgery and all this. And then I got offered a good new contract with like a significant pay bump and a new visa. And I was like, okay, like that was a good fight. Like we'll give it another shot. But ever since I signed that contract, I still wasn't, it just didn't fulfill me anymore the way it used to. It didn't excite me anymore the way that it used to, And there were bits and pieces here that I really loved. Like I love being in front of everyone. I love being an entertainer. I love being in the crowd. I love hearing people cheer my name, like all that aspect. But the actual sport of MMA, I just didn't love it anymore. Like every day I would go to wrestling and jiu-jitsu and I would walk away just so beat up and it just felt like it wasn't worth it anymore. And um after like obviously I won my next fight after that. I hated that fight. It was terrible. The one that where all I did was wrestle. I hated it, but whatever, got another win, got a paycheck, and then losing to Stephanie Egger, like kind of lit that fire, that little bit of arrogance, that ego where I'm like, I need to get it back. I need to get it back. And then when I fought Julia and had my arm dislocated, I retired in the cage. After that, I said to coach before they even like announced her as a winner, I was like, no, I'm done. Like I'd said I don't want to. If I get another bad injury, that's it. That's it for me. Like I don't want to do this anymore. And then came back from that, and I still had one fight left on my deal. And my intention was always to, whether I won or lost that last fight on my contract, it was going to be to walk away and try my hand at something else. I wanted to do pro boxing. I wanted to fight Muay Thai. And also, I'm 36 this year. So I also knew that if I signed another contract and my career kept going the way it did, which was one fight a year because I kept getting injured, then that was probably going to be the end of my career. Like my career was going to die in the UFC. And it was never a bad place to be. I just didn't love the sport anymore. And I wanted to try other things before it was too late, And it sucks not getting kind of the same paycheck that I was getting there, but the love that I've received since leaving has been way more than I was expecting to. And the excitement that I feel personally for being able to just fight Muay Thai now, which is where I started in kickboxing. Muay Thai is what I've always loved. That's what's always been my favorite aspect of combat sports. And I've just been excited again for the first time in a long time, and I'm grateful that last fight went the way it did, because I think if I had have won and been offered a new contract, I probably would have taken it just for the paycheck and for the visa and everything, and then would have been in the same cycle that I've been in for the last couple of years, So I did enjoy a lot of things about being in the UFC. I just don't enjoy MMA anymore. I hated going to jiu-jitsu. I hated having to wrestle. Like, it's never been something that I've enjoyed doing. And then as I'm getting older and I'm getting more and more beat up, it just made it more and more unpleasant every day.
So just curious, why did you choose Muay Thai? And you mentioned boxing. Women's boxing is growing very much so now. Why did you choose Muay Thai and not boxing?
Well, I'm going to fight boxing next.
Oh, okay.
So it's just this fight. Yeah, the first opportunity was Muay Thai.
Okay.
So that's just what came.
Do you have a boxing deal?
Well, we're talking to a couple of people right now, trying to get. There's one fight in particular that I'm really trying to get.
Okay.
And if that happens, like, I'm gonna be set that I'll be going to boxing.
Okay. And dare I ask, what is that fight?
I want to rematch Paige VanZant in boxing, and I know she's spoken a lot about wanting to rematch me. I have zero desire to fight bare knuckle. I'm not interested in fighting bare knuckle, but if I can get her to, I know she's making so much money off her fan sites and everything that I think she needs. I know I've seen that she wants to fight again, and I just think it needs to be the right opportunity for her to be excited about it. And she has mentioned before wanting to rematch me again because I did beat her in the UFC, and I think that could be the opportunity. If we get the right promotion behind it, I think it would be a massive fight, honestly.
And why do you want this fight, considering you beat her already?
When I fought her the first time, it really was a turning point in my career for me. And I think with the reputation she has, with the celebrity status that she has, with the fact that she is a legitimate competitor, I'm a legitimate competitor. I honestly want to make some money. I've been doing this for 15 years. As I was just explaining this to my mom the other day, because she was like, why do you want to keep fighting. Like, why do you want to go to boxing? I'm like, honestly, I want to try to make some money. I've been doing this a long time to be fighting for peanuts,
Right.
like when I fought Julia, after I paid out all my coaches, my taxes, everything, I had 3 grand, and that's it. And I was out for almost a year with a serious injury. Like, that broke my heart. I've been doing this too long. I put too much of myself, too much of my body, too much of my energy, too much of my heart into this to not try to jump on an opportunity to make a paycheck. I think a lot of people would want to see that. I think she would want that fight. I want that fight. Like, I want to test my hand at boxing. I don't really like I'll fight a boxer. I'm not a competent boxer. I would rather fight an MMA girl for my first one or two and then transition to full-time boxing because it's very different, I'm realizing. And I just think that would be a cool fight to make, honestly.
Do you want this to be like in a traditional setting, or there's the misfits of the world, the MVPs of the world, where we're seeing the game breads of the world? Like, do you want it to be in? Are those the people that you're talking to, like the influencer boxing scene, so to speak?
Honestly, I would love to fight for MVP. I would love to fight for Jake Paul. That's who I would love to go to. I think people can say whatever they want about him being an influencer boxer, YouTuber, whatever. I think he's doing incredible things for boxing and for combat sports right now, and especially for women in combat sports. Like, that's who I want to fight for. I don't know him. I don't know anyone who knows him. So I figured after this Muay Thai fight, I'm just going to start spamming his Instagram. Like, hey, pay attention to me. Pick me.
I
Pick
think I
me.
can help. I think I can help with that if you want an introduction. I just
I would love that. I want to fight for Jake Paul. I've been saying that for a long time. I would love to fight for his promotion.
Okay, that is great. I feel like this is a thing that could happen. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. Let's do it.
If I cut this deal for you, do I get a percentage? How does that work? I'm just curious. Do I
What if
get?
you come and corner me? Come and corner
Wow.
me.
There was talks of me. That's one thing I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to corner someone, just like as I'm never going to fight. I have no aspirations. I don't have that DNA in me. I'm not as courageous as you guys, but I would love to know what it's like. And I would love to relay this and maybe film it. Like, what is it like from the moment you arrive, the nerves, everything, to the hand reps, to walking out? I want to hold the spit bucket. I want to, like,
Look, we've made a deal before. We've
yes.
made a deal before,
Okay.
and I came through on
You
my
did.
end. So if we can make this happen, you will be the third in my corner. If I
Wow.
fight for MVP, you can be my third
If you
for sure.
okay, so
100%.
so to reiterate, if you sign a deal with MVP, does it have to be for the Paige fight, or is this any fight whatsoever?
I'm happy to fight for them.
Period.
Regardless, I want to fight Paige, but I would like to fight for MVP. Paige would be an ideal opponent. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I'm planning on fighting boxing probably until I decide to retire, and I would like to fight for MVP.
Okay, you sign the deal with MVP. I get to be the third man in the corner for your debut.
Third in my corner.
Wow,
Done deal.
that would be. And
Done
what
deal.
do I have to do? Just bucket? Well, like, am I holding mitts? What am I doing? I'm just curious.
You're there for support.
Support
so
more.
you'll carry
I could
the
be your hype
water.
man.
Yeah.
I could like hype you up. This is your time. F the doubters.
Yeah.
We've been through this before.
Exactly.
We've walked through the fire. Let's show everyone.
We've done this for years.
Yes, we've
Jesse.
done this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm very excited. I'm actually now I have incentive to try to make this happen.
Yeah, there you go. You help me out. You can be 100%.
This is freaking.
Be in my third. Be in
This
my
is
corner.
huge.
Be the third.
Okay. Oh, by the way, walkout music this Saturday. What are we thinking?
Australian hip hop.
Okay.
I think I walked out to the same song for my last fight, but I'm super homesick. It's been amazing having my mum here, but it's made me even more homesick. So I'm trying to get back to my roots as much as I can in any way possible.
I'm big into
Aussie hip hop.
UK rap. I love UK rap. I don't know a lot about Aussie rap. Who should I be looking out for?
I'll send you some stuff.
Okay.
Listen Esso. Listen Esso is who I listen to.
Is that a guy or a group? Who's that?
It's a group.
Okay.
Bliss and just the letter Esso, ESO.
Okay. Yeah. Are they new or are they classic?
No. They've been around since I was a teenager for sure. I've listened to them for years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will check that out. So that's where we're walking out to. By the way, I wanted to ask you before I let you go, and I appreciate you doing this from the car park, as they say. What is it? What is this? You tweeted something. Here it is. You tweeted something a few months ago, just a couple of months ago.
Oh God, what was it?
and so I okay. Let me read you the quote, and you tell me what you were actually trying to say, oh, I'm fine. It's just that life is pointless and nothing matters and I'm always tired. Also, I can't sleep. I'm overeating and none of my old hobbies interest me. Now, I saw
You
people.
don't know what that's from?
Okay, so here's the thing. Full disclosure. I saw people wrote an article and people were worried about your well-being and people were trying to uplift.
Yeah, I know.
But then I sent it to my guy GC and he said it was a quote from Parks and Recreation. Is that what it's from?
Parks and Rec. It's Fat Andy. It's Chris Pratt from Parks and Recreation.
But I don't know if, do you think?
I thought it was funny. Okay, do you really want me to tell you why?
Yeah.
Because my nipples were showing in that picture.
Oh, geez.
And so I was like, I wanted to post. I liked that picture. I wanted to post it. And when I put it up on when I like started to write the post, I was like, oh, if I write something like, this is going to be sexualized no matter what, you know? So let me put something really fucking obscure and obscure and random as a quote. And then I'd been watching Parks and Rec and I was like, oh, that's the one. And so then I wrote that and I did. I had people messaging me going, you need to speak to a therapist. Just for public interest, I speak to my therapist every 3 weeks. I have a therapist.
You're good.
Like,
okay.
I'm good. It was purely was it like a juxtaposition? You know, it was like just a contrast to
I
the
get it.
picture
Okay,
that
now I get it. But I think it went through.
I'm not depressed.
It went over people's heads, right?
It did.
Okay.
Which I appreciate the concern. I appreciate the amount of people that reached out, but it was a joke, and I do apologize for worrying people.
No, I mean, it's nice to know people care, I guess, at the end of the day, right?
For sure, 100%. 100%.
And you didn't feel the need to clarify that everything was okay, or did you later?
No, because listen, most of what I post and put out there is a joke or is me talking shit, you know, or like messing around. So I feel like the people who really who pay attention to what I say and who really know me, looked at that and were like, you're an idiot, you know?
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we cleared this up. So you return to action this Saturday back in Las Vegas, Line Fight 75. Yep. You can watch it on Fight TV, co-main event, FITE TV, the app that everyone knows about. We feel good. We're in good spirits. And then next up, we're making our pro boxing debut for MVP. I mean, this is big. We're coming. This is the comeback season. Comeback SZN for JRC.
Yeah. yes. I'm excited.
I love it. Great to talk to you as always. Good luck to you this Saturday. Cool. Can't wait for it. Wish you all the best.
Thank you. Cool. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. There she is, Jessica Rose Clark. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel, so please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.